What's up, everyone? Mr. NoobTube Gamer, give you guys another Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered gameplay commentary. Today we're playing Team Deathmatch on District, and to kind of go along with this gameplay, we're going to be talking about whether or not we'll ever get another Call of Duty Remaster, because the last one we got, I guess you could say, was Modern Warfare 2, which was last year in 2020. But I don't really count that because it was single player only and did not include the multiplayer. So the last real remaster we had was MWR, which is a remaster of Call of Duty 4, and it came out alongside Infinite Warfare almost exactly 5 years ago. It'll be 5 years in November because it was November of 2016 that Infinite Warfare came out, and MWR was bundled with it. Anyone who was around back then would remember they sold an $80 Legacy Edition of Infinite Warfare, which included both Infinite Warfare and Modern Warfare Remastered. And they did that because Activision knew a lot of people did not want another futuristic COD, so to kind of entice more people to buy it, they included the COD 4 remaster in there so that they could boost sales, because COD 4 is one of the most beloved FPS games of all time. And it definitely worked. Infinite Warfare wouldn't have sold nearly as many copies if they didn't do that with including MWR in the Legacy Edition. And I can tell you from my own experience, I wouldn't have bought Infinite Warfare if it weren't for MWR being there. That was the main reason for me buying Infinite Warfare, because at that time, I was kind of getting sick and tired of the jetpack Call of Duty bullshit, and I thought it was way past time for COD to go back to boots on the ground. I actually bought the $100 edition of Infinite Warfare, and I never spend that much money on one video game, but I thought the offer they gave was pretty good. It was the base game of Infinite Warfare, Modern Warfare Remastered, and the Season Pass for Infinite Warfare, so all the DLC for $100. And I'm like, wow, that's actually a pretty good deal. Even though I had no interest in actually getting Infinite Warfare or playing Infinite Warfare, they got me to put $100 into it. So I'll give credit where it's due. That was brilliant marketing from Activision in 2016 with Infinite Warfare and Modern Warfare Remastered. And I just assumed, because of how successful that was, that we were going to get more remasters. We were going to get Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2, maybe even Worlds at War. But 5 years later, it still hasn't happened yet. We haven't gotten a single remaster since then. And again, I'm not counting MW2 campaign because that's not a full remaster. It's just one part of the game. And as great as the campaign is, multiplayer is way more important. It's not even close. Multiplayer is the game. So if you're making a COD remaster and not do multiplayer, then that's just a waste of time and a waste of money. So I never bought that bullshit, and I never will. But yeah, I'd have to say that the biggest surprise in the past few years in Call of Duty is that we haven't gotten any new remasters. Not one. Part of me expected it to be like an annual thing. Like they release their new game and they also remaster another game alongside with it. So we pretty much get 2 CODs a year. That's what I thought they were going to do. If you look back at my early days on YouTube in 2018, well, I've actually been on YouTube for much longer than that, since 2009, but this channel started in 2018. I made a bunch of prediction videos. Most of them turned out to be wrong. I said there was going to be an Iraq War Call of Duty in 2018. That was wrong. I said there was going to be MW2 Remastered in 2019. Well, that actually turned out to be true, but not what I expected, because it was campaign only. And I was off by a year, because MW2 campaign came out in 2020, not 2019. Then I said there was Modern Warfare 4 in 2019. That technically was true, but Modern Warfare 2019 was a reboot, not a sequel. Advanced Warfare 2 in 2020. Sledgehammer didn't even work on COD in 2020. It was Treyarch with Cold War, and the new game that Sledgehammer's doing isn't even Advanced Warfare. It's another World War II game, which I also didn't expect, because I thought I thought COD World War II was kind of one and done. I didn't think it was going to be another game in World War II a few years later. But now we got COD Vanguard, which will release in a couple of weeks. And then I also said that we were going to get MW3 Remastered in 2020. And that obviously did not turn out to be true. So I have a track record of making pretty bad predictions over the years. So whatever I predict in this video, don't take it too seriously. But I really thought that we were definitely going to get a Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer. We were definitely going to get Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. I would say I'm disappointed that we didn't get any new remasters, but at the same time, maybe that's a blessing, because the way they handled MWR was pretty fucked up. Adding supply drops a month after launch, so people bought the game expecting there to be no microtransactions, and they added it in later. Supply drops were fucking cancer back then. Of course they had to add that shit into a fucking old-ass game like COD 4, just to make a few more bucks. And oh my god, the way they handled DLC in the map pack, they didn't include the map pack in the actual remaster. So if you paid full price for the remaster, or if you bought it with Infinite Warfare, you still had to pay separately. And it was $15, which was actually more than the original DLC cost, which was only $10. And guess what? No one bought that shit because it was a fucking scam. So those 4 DLC maps are pretty much gone because no one plays them. No one bought the DLC in MWR for good reason, but that also means that there's no way to really play those maps anymore unless you have the PC version of the original COD 4, because DLC is free for the PC version of COD 4, but it's not free if you have the PS3 360 version. And if you have the original COD 4 on consoles, it's pretty hard to find a match these days because everyone moved on to MWR. Though on PC, it's the opposite. MWR on PC is dead, but the original COD 4 is very much alive, full of players. The point is, it's pretty hard to get access to the DLC maps for Call of Duty 4 in 2021, if you're not a PC gamer. And that's only because Activision had to be greedy. There's no reason why DLC should not be included in a remaster. Remaster's supposed to be the definitive version of the game, but with MWR, that's not the case. So the way they handled microtransactions and DLC in MWR kind of turned me away from the game and made me stop playing in late 2016, early 2017. And I'm afraid that if they decide to remaster another Call of Duty game in the future, they're going to make a lot of changes. They're going to fuck with the balancing, which they didn't do in MWR, but I feel like they might do that in MW2 because MW2 is by far the most unbalanced COD of all time. And there are a lot of people, even OG MW2 players, that are actually saying, like these YouTubers are saying that, yeah, if they remaster MW2, they should make some balancing changes to the multiplayer. Like, what? I personally have a big problem with that because then you're shitting on the legacy of MW2. You're changing a 12-year-old game to something completely different. You're pretty much changing it to MW3 because that's all MW3 was. It was a more balanced MW2. So if you want to play a more balanced version of Modern Warfare 2, you already have a game that exists. It's called Modern Warfare 3. And then I'm also worried, are they actually going to include the DLC in these games, or are they going to do the same bullshit as MWR and try to sell it separately? I also wouldn't put it past them to put skill-based matchmaking in a remastered multiplayer, which would be absolutely fucking disgusting and ruin the game completely. Fuck SBMM. And the other thing is, as you guys can tell by the content on my channel, I still play the old games and have a lot of fun with them. I still play Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 2, I play all that shit, and it's still a shit ton of fun. So I'm afraid that if they do a remaster, they're gonna change the way the game plays in a negative way, and whatever changes they make, you're forced with, because then the old game, the original version, will be killed, kind of like COD 4 right now on the PS3 and 360. Honestly, the only reason why I personally would even want a remaster game is so that I could have crossplay, so I could play with my friends on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, because that's a pain in the ass these days, is to like play the older games with friends, because I have so many people that are on so many different platforms. They actually have the games that I have, like MW2 and Black Ops 1, but they have it on PlayStation and not Xbox. So besides crossplay and DLC included and nicer graphics and all that, I don't want any changes to the original games if they're going to do remasters, which I don't think they will, honestly. I think they only did MWR out of desperation because they were worried about the success of Infinite Warfare, and rightfully so. But right now, they don't have to worry about too much. Modern Warfare 2019 was the best-selling COD of all time, and I'm sure its sequel next year will do even better. And I think COD World War II is the second best-selling COD of all time in 2017, and Black Ops Cold War also did very well, and Vanguard probably will do well too. And they have Warzone, and they have all these other things. They don't even see the need to do a remaster at this time. I think if it gets to a point where Call of Duty starts selling really shitty, yeah, they'll bust out MW2 multiplayer to get people interested again. But as it stands right now, Call of Duty is making more money than they ever had before. And not to mention that they're already remastering these games, like Black Ops Cold War, for example. That's a game that had a shit ton of Black Ops 2 maps brought over, but if we had Black Ops 2 remastered already, they wouldn't have been able to get away with putting all these Black Ops 2 maps into Cold War, because people would have complained. They would have been like, wait, we already had these maps in Black Ops 2 remastered. But because Black Ops 2 is an old game and most people weren't exposed to the old maps, they're able to get away with it. So it's probably easier for them, for the new games, to put the old shit into those games so people just buy the new games instead of having to do a remaster. Besides the fact that an old game won't sustain a player base as long as a new game can. It's better to focus completely on the new game instead of having a new game and a remaster competing at the same time and the player base being split. That way, everything's integrated together, everything's integrated with Warzone, and they make more money that way. The battle passes, what they're doing right now is working great for them financially. Why rock the boat and do remasters, you know? So I don't think we're gonna get any anytime soon, unless it's single player only. Like, let's say if they do MW3 campaign remastered, I think that's the most likely remaster that we'll get anytime soon. But it looks like a lot of you disagree with me. I did a poll asking you guys this question: will we get another remaster? 60% yes, only 21% no, and 20% say yes, but only single player. So Most of you disagree with me. But at the same time, if they were gonna do more remasters, why haven't we gotten any in 5 goddamn years? That's a long ass time. So we'll see, but I don't think we're gonna get any remasters unless Activision gets desperate again, like they did with Infinite Warfare. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think we're gonna get any more remasters? And if so, which games do you think we'll get? As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.